Okay, we're going to now begin with exercise 614. We're going to talk a little bit about this exercise. It involves using the today function, that's the word today, within an open and closed parenthesis at the end. So date and time functions can be used to display our current date and time. We can use this to determine ages of a product or an expiration date. We can calculate the hours of somebody working, the days past, or even the future dates, like anticipating graduation and doing a countdown, those kind of things. With dates and times, Excel uses a serial number system. And I'm not talking about the cereal that you just did your exercise with, like My Favorite Life, okay, or Captain Crunch. We're talking about serial as in S-E-R-I-A-L, a serial number, all right? A serial number is a date shown as a value. Now remember, values are numbers. So Excel's date system, oddly enough, starts back on January the 1st, 1900. So this was we by no means had the computers then, noted. Just that's their starting date, right? So back on January 1st, 1900, Excel recognizes that date as the number 1. Well, you can imagine the number 2 is January 2nd, 1990. And the number 3 is January 3rd, 1900. Not 1990, 1900, 1900. So every day is a new date. And actually, Excel has this set up to read to December 31st of 9,999. I would anticipate they have high hopes of being around for another 7,000 years. I don't know. Anyways, you need to understand the serial number system. So here we are, in the year 2020, we're 120 years later, approximately 365 days a year. Throw in some leap years here or there, and you're going to have a serial number that represents today's date. And I'm sure we'll see that here in a moment in the exercise. So here we go. Explained, ready to roll. The today function displays our current date using the computer's clock. This function has absolutely no arguments, and Excel will format the results as a standard date style. So the date function is volatile, which means that the formula results are going to depend on your computer on which the workbook is open. So think about this. If you share it with somebody whose computer and their clock is set differently, it might not show the same results, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with this exercise and put this to use. All right, we're going to start with the week 1 tab open. So if you don't have week 1 selected, go ahead and select week 1. Hold down the shift tab and select week 4. Now, what we just did was group our worksheets, the exact same thing we did in the previous 2 exercises. I want you to go to cell A3, and I want you to type in a formula that is equals today, and then open left parenthesis, close right parenthesis. You can see that on my screen up there, and then press enter. And you're probably going to get what I have here, a whole bunch of what you guys want to refer to as hashtags. I refer to it as the pound sign. All right, this symbol simply is indicating that the column is not big enough to show the date in its current size. So why don't we just go ahead and click in cell A3, okay, and look in the formula bar where you're going to see it does have the formula. Excel will capitalize the function names even if you don't. So maybe you noticed that and had that question like, why did Mr. Heitkamp capitalize the word today? It's just old programming habits that I'm in, but Excel will do it for you automatically. Now, let's go ahead and open up the format number dialog box. That's Control 1. And then click the number tab at the top left. And then in the category group, choose the general number. Well, there we go, folks. We're at 43,906 days since January the 1st, 1900. That's our serial number. That's what Excel is recognizing for us as a serial number. Now, the great thing is Excel is going to modify this to make it into a current date. All right, so let's go ahead and simply click OK. Not going to do anybody any good, right? Oh, yeah, today's date, 43,906. Like, that's how we're going to go around telling people the date? Absolutely not. So let's go ahead and undo that, and the format's going to be changed back to the pound sign. Let's change it to a date format that makes sense. So press Control 1. This time, click the Alignment tab. And in the text control group, choose Shrink to Fit and click OK. Now, the display date is sized to fit the column width, but the font size still shows the original size. We'll get to that in a moment. In the meantime, hopefully the serial date information makes sense to you. We're going to move forward with that. We're going to refer back to it every once in a while. This is exercise 614. Save it as such. We'll be right back.